Well, here now to react is Republican Congressman Pat Fallon from Texas. Congressman, great to have you with us. We're talking about, it sounds like, a back door to build back better. Do you think the left can succeed in pulling the president with them again, or is this really not going anywhere?
Well, the left has certainly succeeded so far in pulling Joe Biden dramatically to the left, Brian. And I call it not the triple B, but the quadruple B. It's the Bernie Biden bankruptcy boondoggle. And Biden says it's going to cost $1.75 trillion. But when you really look under the hood, we're estimated to have a debt in today's dollars 29 years from now of about $118 trillion, as alarming as that is. But if Build Back Better, boondoggle, if that were to pass, it would actually be $140 trillion. So you can argue, and it would really make a strong argument, this is a $22 trillion spending spree, and we just can't afford it, and we have to kill this thing once and for all.
Congressman, you know, it's representatives like Pramila Jayapal who talk all the time about the threat to democracy and voters' rights are being taken away. We've got to do something about it. And yet this is got to be one of the most undemocratic ways to spend money we don't have through executive orders. What happened to the legislative process, Congressman?
Well, we're a co-equal branch of government, and we don't see that. The Biden administration really doesn't even respond to anything that the Republicans ask for, regardless of how logical it is. And you want to talk about dictatorial rule and tyranny, that's what executive order essentially becomes. When the left doesn't get what they want, Brian, then they demand action. And then, like, they're so hypocritical with the filibuster. It was the greatest thing in the world when President Trump was in office the first 2 years, and now it's a relic. Now it's racist. Now it needs to go. The filibuster is a strong tradition, strong traditional tool in the Senate, and thank the Lord that we have it, quite frankly, or we'd be seeing some real leftist chaos right now.
So it's probably related to this, Congressman, related to saying one thing, doing something else, flip-flopping on issues. But a new poll indicating that 45% of independent voters prefer that the GOP take back the House. Just 27% prefer Democratic control. Congressman, your reaction to these stark numbers, what does this mean, do you think, for the midterms?
Well, Brian, my reaction is praise Jesus. It's a great thing because, a lot of folks, or most folks, in fact, most Americans are fiscally responsible. We certainly are with our own money. You see at the local level in government, whether it's city or county or state, they can't spend any more than they take in. But the federal government, because we have a printing press down the street, deficit spends. I think to the tune of we're closing in on $3 trillion this year. Joe Biden's underwater with independence. And quite frankly, let's talk about Hispanic Americans. A recent poll came out where his approval rating with Hispanics, this is a sitting Democratic president, is only at 33%. That is alarming because if that holds, Brian, we're not going to be talking about a red wave in November. We're going to be talking about a red tsunami.
Congressman, that very well may be the case. In 2022, we may see those kind of electoral results. But the next year is critical from a life perspective from people. I mean, people can't afford to buy things. They can't afford to get things. They're looking, businesses are trying to fill jobs. They can't fill jobs. We can't get product on the shelves. It's one thing to say, wait till 2022, wait till November, wait till things change. But, Congressman, what can happen now in the beginning of 2022, in the summer of 2022, to make sure that people don't have to continue to deal with the things that are creating these kinds of poll numbers?
Brian, that's a great question. And this is what I hear in the 4th District of Texas all the time. We're at inflation right now is at a 39-year high. And when you're talking about energy, year over year, as far as gasoline going up about 60%, home energy about 30%. Food, bacon of all things, is up over 20%. This is like the bad old days of Jimmy Carter, double-digit inflation. And it's scary. There are more Democrats in the House than there are Republicans, and the Democrats control the Senate and, of course, the White House. So what we are asking all Americans to do is call your representatives, particularly those Democrats that are in purple districts, and they should start voting with Republicans, voting for things that make sense. Because policies, when you inject this much money into this much money into the money supply, things are going to cost more. Goods and services are scarce.
Yeah. Congressman Fallon, we're out of time. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate your perspective today.